We are Gold Ivy.
Our mission is to empower you to own and unleash your truth.
Stories of resiliency are gold, and ivy grows in hard places.
Those hard places are what create space for light to shine through.
You decide what works for your daily life and how to transform our lessons into your gold.
This is Ivy Unleashed,
a Gold Ivy production. Brooke, what do you think everyone wants more of?
Energy.
What do you think most people are hoping to come out of 2023 with?
Feel more confident, be an example for others, actually have the self-discipline to take care of themselves.
Yes, exactly. Because we hear the need for it and we want to help you get in the best shape of your life, we created Move with Gold Ivy, our virtual workout platform.
Our dream has been to create accessible, affordable, and effective workouts that you can do anytime, anywhere, designed to hold you accountable and get you the results you need.
You can pick any workout you want at any time, but if you do want a plan that alternates muscle groups and leaves your body feeling energized and strong, we have a weekly plan that you can follow to take the guesswork out.
It's easy to navigate and packed with all kinds of workouts that will help you strengthen, trim, pump up, tone, energize, de-stress, all of the things we want our body to feel. It's within Move.
Don't forget to mention the resources we offer. As a member of Move with Gold Ivy, you'll be a part of our exclusive Ivy League community, where we share our top wellness resources on things like meal planning, gut health hacks, time management, and more.
And because you listen to the Ivy Unleashed podcast, we want to offer you all of this for only $20 a month, cheaper than any monthly membership you'll find.
Not only that, you'll get a free trial week to test it out.
And if you need more incentive to start prioritizing you, here's our favorite part. Your movement matters. Each month, 10% of your membership will be donated to support the mental health of those in need.
So head on over to goldivyhealthco.com/move or find the link within the show notes of this episode and sign up today. Stop putting yourself in the back burner. Snag your spot and reap the benefits that you deserve to feel this year.
It's your time. Move for your health, move for your confidence, move for your mental clarity, move with Gold Ivy. Welcome back to Ivy Unleashed. Today we are talking about a topic that we used to really not like.
Yeah.
And things have changed.
Yes.
And we're empowered and we're pumped up and we're excited to talk about money, which feels so out of body.
But it was your first word as a baby.
It was.
So I feel like it's full circle. It's time for a refresh. It's time for us to talk about money and not be afraid of it and not think it's greedy. And just know it really is a part of our mental health to focus on money, to have a stronger, healthier relationship with it.
To not let it control every aspect of our life. To not let it feel like this daunting thing that I'm in debt and I don't want to talk about it. I am shameful that I'm in debt. I'm less than because I have debt. Like, what is the money story that you're telling yourself? I think that's something we've gotten really clear with over the past few months, doing the work, reading the books, just like the start of a new year. Like that was really our goal this year, was getting out of debt after starting a business. For me, it was getting out of medical debt and just, again, feeling empowered with money.
And for me, it's getting out of business debt and getting out of credit card debt. I am married to a spender. I am a spender. I come from a spender. I primarily lived with my mom growing up, and she's a spender. And so am I. And part of what attracted me to Justin is that he was a spender too. It was like we both had this mentality of, we've got this one life. Let's take the trip, which I love. I still want to take the trip, and we do take the trips. But we tend to put the trip on a credit card, and then it's typically a really fun trip, and we don't want to ever say no to experiences. And it's added up. And then we've moved credit card debt to another zero interest card. So it's like, you don't really have to think about it till that interest kicks in. And then eventually it's like, we've got to do something about this.
It's like that thing that until you handle it, it just keeps knocking. And for me, it was like, I'm sick of this. I am sick of letting this rule and affect my mental health, because if you listen to this podcast, we fully believe your mental health is your physical health and it impacts you. And for me, for the longest time, it was, if I want to feel good, that means spending the money to get the help I need. but that means spending money that I don't have. And for me, getting answers to my health, it was seeing functional medicine, seeing alternative medicine that isn't covered by insurance. So it was put it on the card. What is it? Is it my health or is it money? Like, at what point is money more important than my health? Like, it's not. And it was this back and forth for so long. And now that I do have my health back, it's like, okay, let's make some changes. Let's actually sit down and be honest with our spending. And it's really hard to do.
Well, and the thing too is people don't like to talk about it. A lot of people were raised that you don't talk about money. I was talking with some girlfriends the other day at my sister-in-law's house about how a few of us, like, absolutely not, I will die if we talk about money. My parents taught me no.
It's like the respectful thing to do. It's like a pride thing of don't talk about it, which is so interesting. Because when you think about what it is, like, it's just a transfer of means. Like it's literally a piece of paper, or for online credit card, it's just this number that we put so much meaning behind.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, everybody can stand wherever they want about whether or not you should talk about it. But there's a pure fact here that we are all thinking about it. And that's why we're talking about it, because we're all thinking about it. Like, you know, you're always making the decision, is that worth it? Is that out of our budget? You know, how do we weigh these options? What's that going to look like? Like right now, I have, my best friend lives in Tokyo, and I'm really trying to pay off this credit card debt. But I also know she's only going to live there probably once in her life, and she's coming back in August, and I really want to go. And so now I'm like cutting costs everywhere, like you wouldn't believe. And it actually feels good. I used to think of it like depriving myself if I was saving or I was cutting back. It's like, oh, we live once, like, but I like that, you know. But it actually feels good to be a little bit more responsible with things that aren't that big of a deal. Like my nails, they might look like a fifth grader painted them, but we're going to roll with it till I get to Tokyo, okay? And, you know, it's things like that where it's not life or death. It's, you know, getting my nails done is not that important to me. It's something I can cut out, and it saves me like $70 a month.
Yeah. And I think the why behind it is what is so important and where that shift comes from. And it wasn't until I really read Ramit Sethi's book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, that I feel like that mindset shifted for me of like, there's a way to do it where you can be empowered, where you can spend money on the things that are important to you, and you can cut costs on the things that aren't really important to you, so that you don't have to have this weight on your shoulders of, I'm in debt, of, I'll worry about that later. And then later never comes because it's scary and you don't want to look to see how much you spent. Like getting honest with how much I was spending, that I was spending way over what I was making. And like, until I sat down and put a system in place, I didn't even know what I was spending my money on.
And I like what he talks about. Like, if you want something that is spelled out, because I think it can be overwhelming. You're like, my partner knows way more about money than I do, or I have no clue how to invest, or I don't know what a Roth I can't even say it. Roth IRA is, you know, like not knowing things as much as you're like, I just won't think about it. You still wonder. Knowledge is power. You still want it. Even if you pretend like you don't, it's nice to know. And something could happen to your partner and you need to be able to take care of yourself, right? And so this book, what's so nice is he gives tangible steps. And also what I like is he says, I will break this down for you, but this is not the hard part. Learning is not the hard part. It's the doing. He's like, the percentage of people that actually follow through with these tangible things. Yeah. He's like, if you do what I say, you will be rich.
I'm like, all right, Ramit, I'm here, buddy. Help. And I read it and I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, it's exciting to know exactly where your money's going. And when you work so damn hard for your money, like, if there are all these people that can be rich, it's like I took the same approach for my healing journey. My health was like, all these people have been so sick, have been depressed, and now they are on top of the world. Like they know something that I don't know. If they can do it, why the hell can't I? And that's exactly what I took from reading this book, was like, it's really not that complicated, but our mind makes it so complicated. And if you sit down and you put these steps together, like a spreadsheet where you have your conscious spending plan, where you know how much you're pulling in each month, you know your expenses, you've got it automated, like this whole system that he has that I'm following, It's really not that hard. What's hard is sitting down and being like, I spent $170 over my entertainment budget. Like, that sucks. Okay, what do we need to do differently? Like, it's just that self-check of, do I really like eating out? Do I want to spend my money on this? Okay, yes. All right, well, then what else do I need to shift? And so I think feeling empowered, the mindset around it is something that has made such a game changer for me. Is like, there are so many people that are rich. I want to be rich because I want to spend my money on things that I want to be doing for this one life I have, and also to give back. And that was like, he doesn't talk about this, but Danny J, who we had on the podcast, if you've listened to her episode, she talks about how she got out of debt. And one of the things was giving 10% of your income away. And so that's something we're working on, and it's tough.
Mm-hmm. And there's multiple reasons to do this. She was doing it because she went to some financial experts, like, seminar and was told to do it. She's like, I'm doing whatever this lady says. Like, I'm just going to follow what she does. I want to do it because that's what it says to do in the Bible. Like, tithing is giving 10% back to the church. And so it's something that has been on my heart that's like, I'm not doing that. And I want to be doing that. And so Justin and I are inching our way towards that too, because we have a weekly giving that we give. And so it's like trying to bump that up. So that's part of the puzzle of this. And speaking of Danny J, she's episodes 113 and 114. And in it, she said, and I think she got it from the seminar as well. I wish I could give this lady credit, but being faithful with the little things. And so I'm doing that. And for me, what that looks like is I'm driving home and I see a Chipotle sign and I'm like, oh man, I could really go for a burrito bowl right now and some guac. And I remembered, okay, I just went grocery shopping a couple days ago. I have food in my house. I've been meal planning to save money. That's my way of being faithful with little things, is like planning things out a little bit more, eating what is in my home. So I'm like, I'm going to be faithful with little things. Said a little prayer like, Lord, just show me this is going to pay off. Like, I'm really cutting costs in a lot of ways. Not that Chipotle is like, I'm dying because I don't get it, but it's all these little things that are little tiny sparks of joy that I typically have. So I say that to the Lord. I'm like, Lord, show me being faithful to little things is going to pay off. I come home, I check the mail, and Brooke and I got a return from the government because we overpaid in our taxes.
3 years ago. Like, yo, I don't care if you don't believe in the Lord, you don't believe in the universe. Like, if this is woo-woo for you, I don't care, because something magic happens when you are faithful with the little things. And I think giving back the 10% too, it's showing that abundance, that we have enough and we are grateful for what we have. We can make do with what we have, because if we aren't grateful for what we have right now, why would we get more? And I think that has been such a shift for both of us of like, we want this money, yes. We want to be out of debt, yes. But like, how do we act fortunate for what we have right now and really believe that?
How about you tell them what we do?
Well, our good coach, Catherine, she recommended that anytime you make money,
even if it's $1,
you need to tell the universe, thank you.
Or Lord.
The Lord. Universe, Lord, interchangeable for me. And you play your song. You pick a song. So Andrew's song is September. My song is Whitney Houston, Dance with Somebody. And we go buck wild. Mm-hmm. We go buck wild anytime we make money because it feels so good. And we want to remember that feeling. We want to tell the universe, thank you. Lord, thank you. Give me more. Again, woo-woo-y. I don't care what you think, but just do it. If you want to make more money, just do it and see what happens. Like any book I've read about people getting rich or, I forgot who it was, but she got a check in the mail and it was her bills. And she viewed that as like making money just so that she could start to flip that script of like being grateful. And so, yes, it's silly. It's playing tricks on your mind, but like this is all mindset work. And after I read this book, it was, okay, I've got the system. Now I need to be disciplined. And what is going to help me stay on track? And every morning when I'm on the treadmill, I listen to Eric Thomas. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he's the hip hop preacher. He's like the number one motivational speaker in the world right now. And he just gets me on fire. And he said something the other day when I was running, and he said, it is not hard to get out of debt. It is not hard. You know exactly what you need to do. Why are you not doing it? And like just the little things that I'm consuming, I pick up on them. I'm like, okay, I hear you. okay, this works. I'm in the grocery store and I'm buying all these groceries. I'm like, I could just really grab something for the way home. I'll grab a $3 bar. No, be faithful with the little things. Like these small things have made such a difference. And having scheduled time to revisit my conscious spending plan, I think that's been huge. Every Tuesday, I go through my finances. I haven't been that great this month, so I'm doing another day. Tuesday, Fridays, I'm touching base with myself, looking at my spending. I know exactly what is coming in, what is coming out, because I know how much it affects my mental health and how important it is for me to feel like I am on the offense and I don't have credit card debt. Mm-hmm. Like it is a crappy feeling, and there are so many people that have gotten out of it, and I just have to listen to them and stick with what they're telling us to do.
Totally. Yeah. And for Justin and I, we decided that the day that we both get paid on the same Friday, that's the day twice a month that we sit together. We see how much credit card debt we've paid off, and we high five, we celebrate, make out, whatever. But it's like a day that we're both home. We're both wanting to get it gone, right? And we're both making conscious efforts to remove it. It's something that every year on our anniversary, like, okay, this is the year that we're going to get out of credit card debt, right? And then we're like, live a little bit, let's go, you know? And so it's just finding where we can cut those costs. And with Justin, speaking of abundance mindset, he believes the money will come. Like full transparency, this week, I got Beyonce tickets.
Excuse me?
I haven't said it yet out loud, but I got Beyonce tickets, and they were so expensive. And I had already asked Justin for permission because we had to get in this specific reserve thing with my friends that are obsessed with Beyonce in my neighborhood. And in order for that to happen, I knew that I was gonna have to drop a lot of money. I had no idea how much. And it was a lot more than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like $500. It wasn't $1,000,
but it was a lot.
It was a lot. And then there's taxes and fees. So full transparency, it was $7.95 for a ticket to Beyonce, not even on the floor. This is first level. Anyway. And so I was feeling super guilty about it. I was feeling super nervous to tell Justin. And I tell him, and he's like, that's awesome. Cool. You deserve it. You should go. We'll make that money back in no time. And that's just how he thinks, but it works. He thinks the money will come and he believes it. He has this abundance mindset, and he'll get a random bonus that he doesn't expect to get. And it's those people that are like, oh, lucky for you. Well, that's why you're not getting the random money, because you have that attitude about it. And I'm that person. I am totally that person where I'm lucky for Justin. Justin's so lucky. Everything works out for Justin. Good thing I'm married to him, Jesus, because it doesn't ever happen for me. And all of a sudden, as I've been switching my mindset, and I've been I deserve this. I will be responsible with this. I'm worthy of this. I am capable of having a lot of money. I'm capable of running a business. It's going well. Business is coming to us now because we've switched our mindset to this is hard. We don't know what we're doing to we will figure it out. Yeah. And we are providing a big service to the world. And so people are lucky if they're a part of our podcast, because it is touching the world. Right now it's at 73 countries, and it's all kinds of people that are looking to get some tips and ideas for products. And if, you want to be a part of that, lucky for you. Mm-hmm. Instead of me scrambling, wondering if anybody would ever want to, you know?
And that was a big mindset shift for me, because growing up, I feel like I caught on to, you have to work hard for your money. That was the money script that I learned, that I saw from my parents and people I was around, was you have to work hard for your money. And when we have money, we spend it. The money comes in and then it's gone, and you wait until it's back. And so my new mindset is I'm smart with my money, but I show up and I give. And the Lord returns money to me for giving. I'm not so money focused. And that's something that I've really learned through watching Eric Thomas, is you have a gift. And when you give that gift to the world, you are so needed, and that gift is needed, and you are rewarded for giving that. And when you are chasing money, how are you going to level up? And so feeling broke, hating that feeling, wanting money, knowing what money's going to do, but having it be more than money. I think it's that dance between, yes, we live once and we want to do all these things, but we also want to be smart with our money. And so how do we hold space for both? And that's what I really like about Ramit's method is spend money on what you love and be intentional with that. Like Beyonce tickets are important to you. And so you're choosing to spend your money on that. If travel is important to you, you're choosing to spend your money on that, but you are still paying yourself. You are still setting yourself up for success and not spending thousands every month on interest on credit card debt, like just throwing your money away. Mm-hmm. It's like not having money be the end all be all, but also respecting it and not just letting you throw your money away to things that don't matter. Yeah. I think it's so empowering knowing like, I know exactly where my money's going. I feel in control. And I don't have the shame around it anymore because I'm open about it. Like we talk about saving money and money wins. And I talk to Ian, my boyfriend, about it. And like, okay, let's save on Spotify. How do we do this? You know, like having fun with it, dancing when you get money. Like our whole mindset around money has shifted and it hasn't happened overnight, but it's come from being intentional with these little things and trust. Trusting that we have a service that we are providing that is doing so much good in the world, trusting that these little things are going to pay off and seeing that reward and celebrating that reward because over time, like we're literally changing our brain. Mm-hmm. Like there's a reason that this becomes your mindset and it's such a powerful shift because it's neuroplasticity. You're literally rewiring your brain as you're doing these little things.
Right. And I think that's super important because you have to know where your brain is starting from.
Right.
You have to put yourself back into your childhood self and think about what were the unspoken rules of this house with money or with anything, right? Because I was reading The Source last night at bedtime by Tara Swart, Dr. Tara Swart. And her journal prompts she had were around like, what are your self-limiting beliefs? And one of mine is, I'm not good with money. Mm-hmm. And so then what she has to do from there, so figure out what your self-limiting belief is with money. It could be literally anything. It could be like, I'm bad with it. I'm not responsible with it. I spend it too much. I'm afraid to spend it.
I'm not worthy of money.
Mm-hmm. I'll never have money, whatever it may be. You think about that, and then you think about the evidence of that. What evidence do you have to support that self-limiting belief, right? And it makes you think, like, is that belief true in my life? Like, am I bad with money? And if I am, what have I done, right? We can actually, like, be honest with ourselves about reasons why we think that. And then it can be, how does that belief make me feel? Does it make me feel good to think this way anymore? No. So then what can I do to change it? It sounds like common sense, but it actually is sitting down to think about, I don't even know. What were the rules around money growing up? For me, it was money's stressful. Mm-hmm. It's stressful to think about, so don't think about it and charge it. It's just like,
or it wasn't talked about, right? I think for a lot of people, we don't learn in school what a Roth IRA is or how to invest or how to save. Like most people's parents, I feel like teach them, okay, save half your paycheck. Like that's the standard. But what happens if you don't? What happens if you do go in credit card debt? And, it's either this big scary thing that we just don't even talk about because it is so gray. It's not black and white. There are so many different ways to do it. There's so many different beliefs around what's the best way to do it that it's overwhelming and we just don't talk about it. And so a lot of us don't even take the time to sit down and learn or to turn inward and say, what is my money belief? Mm-hmm. Like that is so powerful because it's your awareness. The first stage in any change is awareness, knowing where you are starting and getting really clear on that and where do you want to be? Like if I did have all this money, like where would I even spend it on? We've gotten really clear on when money does come, where are we putting it? So it knows where it's going. Mm-hmm. Like getting so clear, we have this vision and in our personal lives as well of what would we spend our money on? Why are we deserving of money? How are we going to help people when we do have this money and give back and get excited about it? So you are so clear because when you are that clear, you know how you're showing up. I don't spend money on that because if I do that, I don't have this and this is way more important to me. Mm-hmm. And each and every day waking up and being intentional with that, it's that constant reminder of why are you doing this? Why is it important? Why is it helping? And at the end of the day, like no one is coming to save you. I feel like that my healing journey with money is like, if you are sick of feeling this way, do fucking something about it. Like, no one is holding a gun to your head and saying, buy this off Amazon. Like, no one is. You are. And if you don't like it, sit down with yourself and say, what do I need to do? Okay, I need to put a calendar alert on my calendar for Fridays to touch base with my conscious spending plan. Because something isn't going the way I want it to. And I have to do something about it.
And it doesn't have to be a negative experience, because I think a lot of times it's just like dieting. I just keep thinking money is like anything else. It's like you don't want to change the way that you're eating because it'll make you uncomfortable, and then you have to like give up stuff.
Okay, but you're uncomfortable the way you are right now.
Right. And so I like that you call it a conscious spending plan instead of a budget, right? Because like a lot of times when you think of budget,
It's restrictive.
It's restrictive, yeah. Stuffy. It feels like you're taking things away, just like a diet. Like we're taking all these things out. And it's like, I never think of food that way. I always think of like, what can I have? What do I want more of, right? Because that just feels good. And then you can think about what you want, and then that's what you get, right? And I've been using this filter system in my mind from the Netflix special Get Smart with Money, where they had like at least six people, I think, talk about their money story and kind of where they're at with debt, where they're at with investing, where they're at with whatever it is. And they have like 6 different coaches that talk with each of these families, giving them ideas about where to invest or how to cut down on credit card debt, all of these things. But one of them, she said, I want you to think about something whenever you want to buy it. Do I like it and want it? Or do I love it and need it? And knowing like, if you just like it or you just want it, let's pause here, and if you love it and you need it, okay, then let's move forward and then let's really go from there. I think sometimes having that, just a small filter system to just pause can be really helpful with spending. When you come from a spending family and you're the spending partner and you identify that way. And I don't actually want to change being a spender. I like that conscious spending where it's like, I'm pausing a little bit more. I'm actually thinking, like, I hate stuff. Like, I hate when there's an Amazon package on my doorstep. I cannot stand it. Justin's like, I want some shirts. I'm like, why? Your drawer is full. Where are you going to put it? I hate stuff not in a drawer, in a box, in a cupboard.
It needs a home.
It drives me nuts. And there's 4 people here that currently like stuff, and it drives me crazy. So for me, it's like
her husband and 3 kids is what she's referring to.
I like to book a ticket to a show, a destination, a marathon.
Yeah.
I buy medals and plane tickets.
I think it's hard though when, like, to your point, you live with someone, you have a family with someone who has different beliefs, who has different views of spending. And maybe you're listening right now and you've been married for 17 years and you want to start having these conversations, but you're not really sure how. Like, that is a scary topic. I feel like I'm inching my way. Ian's like, you read one finance book and you think you're the, finance guru. And I'm like, bitch, I'm trying to be. And you're welcome, because you're going to marry me and we're going to be rich, bitch. But in all seriousness, like, I'm trying to have these conversations now so that when we do live together, we're on the same page. Money isn't something where, like, it's stuffy. It causes so many fights.
Well, and so many people saw their parents fight over money.
Yes.
I did too.
Yes.
Whether they were married or divorced, like, they fought over money because it was not like harsh fights, but it wasn't like a happy scenario.
Well, and money, we can say like it's literally just a transfer of means, and it's, it's just this object that has so much meaning attached to it. But at the end of the day, like, it is important. You need fucking money to live. And so how do you have these conversations with your significant other where you get what you want? Like, how did you start having these conversations?
Yeah, I needed to cry to get my point across. I think it's just, Justin and I live in a very privileged situation. Like, our life is a privileged life. So we're not scrounging for money. We both have really good jobs. We're both entrepreneurs, and things are going well. And so for me to like say, I am really unhappy with how this is going with money when he makes way more than I do. He's like, what? We're fine. Like, we are fine. What? And so what I had to do, not like I had to cry, but I did, because I didn't feel like he was hearing me. I felt like I needed to say, I don't want to spend any more money that isn't mine first. it weighs on me. It weighs on me different than it weighs on you. I don't sleep at night as well when we have this credit card debt. I can't enjoy a trip I'm on. I can't walk the beach full of joy knowing that I haven't actually paid for this yet. It almost feels like I'm stealing. And he doesn't feel that way at all because he knows we're going to pay it off. And we do. Like it happens and it gets taken care of. But for me, it just feels irresponsible. And we have a bunch of money invested too. So like if we did want to pull things from somewhere, like we have a cushion. It's not like we're totally irresponsible because we do have kids and we have to like have cushions. But it just is, for me, a moral weight. Mm-hmm. And from what I read in the Bible and from like literally Pastor Joe that's been on the podcast has given sermons about debt and about if you're spending money you don't have, you're telling God, this is just my belief. I'm with you, Pastor Joe. You're telling God what you've provided isn't enough for me. What you provided is not enough, so I'm going to swipe my card because I need more. And so that's another way for me to show gratitude is like, I don't want to spend money I don't have anymore. And I'm still doing it in some ways and I'm working towards not. And I'm really hoping this is the year that I say goodbye to credit card debt forever. And I want to keep finding ways to like sell the stuff that's in my house that's driving me nuts that we don't use, right? And get that money and pay it off. And continue to find small ways to save so that I don't have to feel like this anymore. And so when I told Justin that, and I was like, I know it doesn't affect you. And I even asked him, I'm like, you don't have any shame around this? Like, you don't care if I talk about this in the podcast? You don't care if I talk about this in front of our friends? He's like, no, my friends know I have credit card debt. And I'm like, really? Because he's super smart with money and invests it everywhere, right? So for me, it's just like, let's just get it paid off.
And some people are fine having credit card debt. You know, like it's so individual.
Yes.
And what I loved that you said was like turning it on you, right? Coming to those conversations of like, I'm feeling this way versus you are spending, you are doing this. Like, that's just
right. And I had to say it that way too. So he knew like, I understand that this doesn't affect you. I totally do. But you're my partner. And because of the decisions you're making, because we make these together and it comes from our accounts and goes on our credit card, like I need your help here because I can't keep doing this. And it wasn't like I'm going to end a relationship. It was just like my mental health is suffering from the way that we're spending and I need it to shift. And I understand we have some big things coming up. We have some trips we've already booked and planned and things are going to come up that we're going to want to say yes to. But what can we say no to for now? What can we put on the back burner? Can we stop Amazon? What other things could we do? Can we call the credit card companies? So this book has really helped me with like, let's call and see if we can get a lower interest rate. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what is the best idea for cutting this out, right? And so I just like basically asked for his help and he's totally on board and really supportive and it's been really nice because it's helped our intimacy. Our conversations are deeper and fear-based of like, I'm scared of this. I don't like this. And to say that out loud, it brings you closer to each other. You know, it makes us connect more. And so I love you, babe. If you're listening to this, I appreciate you working with me on this because I want to say goodbye.
Bye-bye credit card debt.
To credit card debt.
Yes. I love it. It's taking ownership of the choices that you're making and choosing to have that hard conversation, knowing that the hard conversations are the ones worth having. And if they were easy, everyone would be doing it and no one would be in debt maybe, right? Like taking that initiative to say, I don't like how I feel and I'm going to do something about it, whether it's money, it's about weight, food, whatever it may be, knowing that, okay, let's just release this. Let's say something. Let's get help from someone else because clearly it can be really daunting.
And if you have a great system, like Britt Williams has a great system, and her and her husband, I sat at their house the other night. I feel like I talk about Britt on every episode, but I was sitting at their counter and they were discussing whether or not they were going to go on a trip. And then they decided to change their location to save some money. They have a full budget and all of these things that the way that they talked, I was like, thank you for modeling what this can look like. That was beautiful. They really communicated well on how they were going to make a decision on where they were going and how much it would cost and came to an agreement. And at first they didn't totally agree. And it was just cool to see how that works. I'm so happy for their kids to have that modeled. And so if you have a great relationship with money and a great system, talk to your friends about it. Not everybody feels this way and they don't feel comfortable bringing it up. For me, I feel like it's anything that you're really confident in. Like, ask your people how it's going. Share your wealth. Talk to us. Come on the podcast. Talk about it. Like, if you're good at this and you have a healthy relationship with money and you and your partner are good at it, or you feel like you've really set yourself up for success, like share that with the people you love, because money helps all of us experience life to the fullest. And when we don't have it, Brooke and I have both been sick from the stress of money. When I was in college, I was lactose intolerant. One day I just couldn't have lactose anymore. And I definitely think it was stress related. I was so stressed out about money. My friend Lindsay Roberts, who was just on an episode, she showed up at my door one day with groceries because I could not afford food. I didn't even have $20 to go get anything. And so I will never forget that day. And she had a more fortunate situation than I did. She was great with money. So she went and got me sugar snap peas. We made a chicken breast dinner. It was some pasta and it was amazing. And so if you're good at this, if you feel like you've got a great mindset, talk to your friends about it.
Yeah. You know, there's so many beliefs around money, the best practices, best way to do things, invest, yada, yada. But we really just wanted to share what we have found helpful since we've been making some intentional changes the last few months. If you grabbed anything from this podcast that you want to implement, let us know. We love to hear what speaks to you. If there's a system that y'all love that you want to share, please let us know at Gold Ivy Health Co.
Yeah.
We would love for you to spread the gold.
Yes. And we do have an episode 27. If you want to go back and listen to Sonia Eklund, she gave some like tangible tips around money too. So I think that's important to know. Like we talked about different ways to cut down on credit card debt that were like actual tips. And I believe she has some type of
workbook.
A workbook. Yeah, she has a financial workbook that is linked in the show notes there. So if you want some actual like tangible tips to go home with on top of these like money mindset and beliefs, that is a great resource too.
Yeah. And something that's really important to us is to celebrate you listening. Like these episodes, they're a lot. They take you being intentional, actually thinking about yourself, carving out time for yourself. And it's not easy to do. And so we just want you to pause right now, smile at yourself, give yourself a round of applause, a high five, be proud of your damn self because you are putting in the effort that you deserve.
Yes. And this is all about your life. And so it's amazing that you are tuning into a self-growth podcast. We know it's a lot of work because you've got to implement these things into your life. You've got to have difficult conversations, get uncomfortable with the habits that you have, shifting things. So we're just proud of you for being here. We're proud of ourselves for doing this work because it is life-changing and it's awesome. And so as we always do with every episode, we leave you with 3 gold stars that you can implement into your life. And if you do, good for you. So the first one for this episode is number 1, dig into your money story and what money mindset was conditioned from a young age.
Number 2, actively choose what you want your money story to be. For example, I'm responsible with money. I'm capable of making a lot of money.
And 3, identify what the first step is to moving into a more positive relationship with money.
And our piece of gold comes from Jen Sinchero. She says, money is the blank slate that gets its value from the energy and meaning we give it.
This is Gold Ivy signing off.
Listen to your truth and go chase your gold.